Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Faithful to the Traitors. Although we may need to change the name of the podcast because the Traitors apparently aren't that faithful. What an episode.
What an episode.
I'm Ben, and I actually am a faithful.
And I'm Alex, and I've recently received a letter inviting me to become a traitor.
Did you?
Or did I? I won't tell you if I've accepted it or not.
Not until next week.
Yes. We got to wait a whole week. I've just realised that as well. That's just hit me as well. It's so much to take in this episode. And now oh goodness me. And now we've got to wait a whole week until we can find out.
Yes. The round table moments of the episodes are quickly becoming that moment that makes you feel sick as you're watching it. It was amazing. I was just during that whole thing, I was just thinking, I actually felt a bit like sick in my stomach, like just the tension and anxiety of watching it is just
I knew it was going to be a big one because when they got to the round table, I noticed that there was still another half an hour of the show left.
Yeah, I checked that.
And so I instantly knew, this obviously something big's about to happen. But I really didn't. Of all the people I thought was going to throw a fellow traitor under the bus, I genuinely didn't think it would be Wilfred. It makes sense now. I'm thinking about it because he's like the guy who says like he's the best, but he's not the best. He's convinced himself that like what he's done is like a real bold move, but I mean it got really dirty. It got the heat off him. Bravo for that. But like I really didn't think he would be the one to do it. I thought it would be Alyssa. Actually, I didn't know. To be honest with you, I didn't think any of them would do it. I thought they were such a
close knit of people.
Team, them three.
Yeah, it was them against the faithfuls, and he did that, but he did it to save his own skin in this weird, very dangerous way, which could have easily backfired. Because Amanda looked at him when he did it, like, "What are you doing?" And I thought, Amanda, you're going to you should side with Alyssa and take him down to sort of teach the traitors is like, you don't backstab, otherwise you go. But she didn't. She sided with him because he was the stronger player, apparently.
I think she let's be honest, Amanda's the smart cookie in that group. She's the one who's really the bright one. She's gotten away with being under the radar. Yep, she's gotten away with being under the radar the whole time. And I think she worked out that if she had voted Wilfred, I think that Alyssa's name would still be there. Voting Alyssa, Wilfred's name now disappears for a little bit. I mean, Maddie is still adamant. Maddie is still on the bowl there. It still could be him. She even said that it still could be him. It still could be him.
Yeah, well, everyone was hugging him and cheering him.
Well, this is it. He's become a hero. He's become a hero now. Yeah. They were tapping him on the back. They were, he got a hero's reception. And so did Amanda to some extent because she
had the deciding vote. She had the deciding vote, luck.
But that was by luck, exactly. That wasn't by that. Well, I say luck. That was the production crew knowing exactly who.
If we've learned anything, though, luck is a big thing in this game.
But I can't believe. I genuinely could not believe when Wilfred did it, and it you just saw like it's like that moment in The Simpsons when Ralph says, "This is my girlfriend," and Lisa says like, "Shut up, Ralph," and like on live TV cameras, and you just say, "This is the moment his heart broke." You could just see Alyssa was like, "Why have you? I can't believe you just done this to me." As if I felt so bad for her, and her exit speech as well when she stood up and said like, I had the poison chalice, I was a traitor. And Hannah immediately defended her as well. I'm surprised Maddie didn't jump on that. Like, Maddie didn't go, "Look, everyone, Hannah's defended her." Because she said,
she missed that.
You don't have to be sorry. You don't have to be sorry. And that you think that Maddie would have thought that would be something a traitor would say. So I'm shocked that Maddie didn't pick that one up. But that round table was just epic. I mean, I loved it. I loved every minute of it. I just thought it was so amazing. Just to see this human interaction with these people with one another, this animal instincts just to kind of fight dirty in order to survive. And what made it even more contrasting was the fact that they played such a lovely group game as well. Their challenge this week, or this episode, was they had a lot of teamwork and they all had to work together. And so there was this real bonding with the team. And you thought, oh, yeah, no, everything's nice and sweet.
Well, Wilf was working with Alyssa. They were the team together, weren't they?
I mean, I loved. So the challenge this week was hide.
It was very I'm a Celeb. This
hide and seek. Yeah, because they've got split into 3 teams, and 2 of the team members got buried alive, and then the other remaining team members had to then find them. I thought, for me, the MVP for the challenge this time round was Meryl. I thought she was brilliant. I loved the way she just talked and talked. I'm buried alive. All right, now, thanks a lot. I'm buried alive, guys.
She was like describing in depth like a picture of a stag, wasn't she? But she was literally, and Wilfred was like, just let her talk, or we'll just dig, because we don't care. She's not listening. But she didn't listen. No, she was just talking for ages, the same thing. I'm buried alive. Hello, everyone. I'm buried alive. I'm buried alive. And they were like, yeah, we know, we got it. And then she started describing the pictures on the wall with.
Well, she had to do
paragraphs at a time.
No, she had to describe the shield, didn't she? Because they had to find the gravestone that corresponded with the shield. And yeah, she was giving such detail. Like all she said was like, "There's 5 stars in a line" or something like that, and they knew immediately which one it was.
Yeah, we got it.
But she decided, no, I'm going to carry on. I'm going to go on.
There's a 90-degree half circle with a square, and the square is this.
Poor Meryl.
Maybe she was doing it just to like keep her mind off, because they're under there they're buried alive for 45 minutes, I think, wasn't it?
Well,
which is a long time. You know, Bush Tucker trials, they're only 10 minutes normally.
Yes, I mean, you know, there was some people who was coping with it better than others. Let's say.
Yes, poor Ryan. Yes.
Poor Ryan. I mean, he like there was again.
Who's talking?
Like he was so desperate to know what was going.
Who's talking?
Yeah, bless him. He because Claudia was like, he was like, can you just talk to me, give me some comfort? She was like, you're doing great, and then she just walked off, and that was all she could give.
To be fair, Claudia did talk to him, and she was giving him lots of advice.
Who's talking?
She was giving him lots of advice. She was going, are you okay there? Are you all right? You know, you're really surviving. They're on their way. Don't worry. They're almost to you. And yeah, he couldn't hear a word she was saying. So all the kind of comfort that she was giving was on literally deaf ears.
Who's talking?
I love Ryan. He's brilliant. He's fantastic.
He had a few bits. He had even had some diary room. What are they called, those bits? The talking head bits. He even had some of them this episode, didn't he? So
talk to camera.
Yeah, well, he's getting more out there.
Well, he's getting a bit peed off, isn't he? Because people are beginning to accuse him. People are starting to.
Yeah, I think Faye accused him,
fingers.
Didn't she? For like a really random reason.
Wasn't it Faye? There was 2. He got 2 votes this week on this episode on the round table. It was Faye and I forget who the second.
It was someone random. They just picked a random name, and they were like, Ryan. Yeah, I can't remember who it was.
But poor Ryan, he seems to be being picked up a little bit now. You know. I mean, this is it, isn't it? But you know, talking about the round table, they had to, they thought that they were rethinking things, didn't they? They thought this was a new way of thinking this week, this episode. They kept saying it's like, this is a new way of thinking what we're doing.
Yeah, because they got it so wrong before, and they've obviously. Even Claudia gave them a bit of a talking to like.
Well, she was very upset.
Get this correct, please, because the producers are running out of ideas.
They can't keep
this structure going to the end of the show.
They can't keep giving you a shield. Well, yeah, because at the breakfast table when they found out that
we haven't even talked about who was murdered, have we? We always forget about them who were murdered. It seems so important, like 12 hours ago, when we were left on the cliffhanger, and then the next morning comes. It's like, yeah.
Well, something better comes along, doesn't it? I mean, let's be honest. It's sometimes the reveal of the murder is a bit of an anticlimactic moment when you have such a big round table moment. We must mention that if you can hear any noise in the background, our cat has decided that
he's climbed up the Christmas tree, isn't he?
Up the Christmas tree. He's decided that he's become a traitor. He's planning his next murder on whether it's going to be the piece of string or the deer decoration.
Yeah, because they decided to kill Matt, didn't they? Bless them.
It's not fair. Why
he had
did
his bath though, his bubble bath. So
Yes,
He was nice and clean for it.
the water filled with blood. just
Did they have any montages today? Oh no, because they changed the concept a bit, didn't they?
Which we will talk about in a moment. But before we do go ahead of that, let's talk about the murder then, because I wasn't that surprised. I wasn't that surprised at all. I thought Matt was.
Who's talking?
I thought Matt was for 100% for definite going to be the one.
I was worried that poor Andrea maybe, because the way they worded it, they were like, "We're going to have to kill the one that no one will banish." And like the episode before, they were like, "The only one that no one would banish is Andrea." And we were like, "Oh, so it's going to be her?" But no, they did Matt instead for some reason.
Would you?
Poor Aaron, he got upset, didn't he? His best mate gone.
Well, yeah, it was lads, wasn't it? Lads. There's not many young. It's funny actually. The majority of people who have been eliminated are men. I've just thought. Am I right in saying that?
I don't know. It's quite even, isn't it?
I'm not sure.
How many? No, it's quite a lot.
Well, let's think. John's gone. Matt's gone. Tom's gone. Oh, and Ivan.
Yeah, 3 women.
And Imran,
4 women now, yeah.
Oh, and 4 men. So it's equal. It's even. 4 men, 4 women. There's me thinking. I don't know if it was important or not. I didn't know whether it was important that like the women are more suspicious.
And it's quite a mix of age as well. It's not just young or just the old ones. It is literally just going for whoever. But yeah, that's gone. So he didn't get his love storyline.
No, he didn't. He didn't get. We were adamant, weren't we, at the end of the last episode that we were going to see Alex and Matt finally get together. Tom's going to watch on from the window, looking sad, looking forlorn. But he's busy on the cruise ships, isn't he? Doing his magic tricks now, probably. So that's the main thing. He's busy. Yeah. So it was good. They did very well on the challenge. They reached their £8,000 goal.
Yeah, because Aaron was digging everyone's grave, wasn't he?
Aaron was having a great time.
He was digging his team, then he finished his team, then he did the other team.
He's got a lot of energy.
Andrea was just wandering around the forest with a rose in her hand.
Andrew was just telling everyone to carry on, didn't she? She was like, "Just go on ahead of me. I'm not needed right now."
And he was there digging away with all sorts. So yeah, he did his bit for the team, even though no one trusts him.
Meryl, got the clues out. She did really well. She did. To be fair,
she got her word count in.
She didn't. The thing with Meryl is that as soon as she starts talking, she talks so fast that you cannot get a word in edgeways. It's like every time she talks to Maddie. Like Maddie, all Maddie has to say is like, "Well, I don't really trust you, Meryl." Yeah, they had their bust up, and I don't really trust you, Meryl. Meryl's like, well, it's like a machine gun of noise coming from Meryl, and you cannot get a word in edgeways.
And then she just walked off.
Yeah,
because Amel started talking, and she's like, "I know you're right, but I'm going."
Just stormed off.
Yeah, I think it's a bit odd that Maddie's like suspicious of Meryl, because
it was ever since last night's episode.
Yeah, but it's not really. I don't know. I wonder if she'll lay off Aaron now that she thinks that Wilf isn't a traitor.
No, she still thinks Wilf is.
Well, I don't know. She hugged him, didn't she, and said sorry.
Well, she said sorry, but I still think you are.
Oh, okay.
Or when she didn't say she said I'm still not sure about you. Yeah, that's interesting though. Whether she will step back from Aaron now.
And who else will she blame?
Well, she went around the whole table, didn't she? And said,
"Oh, she said maybe to Hannah, didn't she?"
Yes, and which is why it shocked me that Maddie then didn't pick up Hannah saying "Don't be sorry" to Alyssa. That seems like such an obvious clue, especially even though he's not, but even for Maddie, who finds the smallest things. You think that she would have picked that one up? Maybe
there was a lot going on around that table at that moment.
It was absolutely crazy.
Yeah, they got their first traitor, so that was nice to see. I think it was nice actually finally to see a traitor actually go on and see how that's worked, because they threw in another twist like straight away.
Well, they were celebrating, weren't they? They were so happy. They were like cheering. They were drinking. They were clinking glasses. I thought old Wilfred's reaction to it was mad too. The way he reacted to it was like he didn't actually know. Did you not notice? He kind of turned around and went, "Oh," and was actually shaking, physically shaking.
I do think he did feel guilty. And he was in that sort of moment of, I either have to throw a traitor under the bus so we get one so the heat is off, or I'm gonna go.
But he was showing
I was really prepared for him to go though, and Alyssa to stay at the time, because like I wanted good to triumph, even though they're traitors. But within the bad, I still felt that Alyssa was the good side of that side of the game.
But we said
because he backstabbed her.
Yeah,
and they're their own little team, and to think that even though you're in that, you can still get backstabbed by another traitor is quite ruthless.
Well,
so really, you're kind of on your own as a traitor now.
Yeah, and also he said in the very early series, at the beginning of the series, he said to Alyssa, like, you wouldn't backstab me, would you? You wouldn't go against me. And he got her to promise.
Yeah, and then he did it.
And then he did it to her.
Typical man.
I know. And Amanda, I loved what Amanda said to him. It's like, do you know what the symbol is on the Welsh flag? It's a dragon, and if you dare do anything like that to me,
not do that to me,
you will feel my wrath. And you could see him like hard gulp. It's like, it's like, uh-oh.
Yeah, I mean, at the table when he started throwing Alyssa under the bus, she did give him like a motherly stare, like, do not do this. And that's why I thought, oh no, when it came down to her, she's gonna back Alyssa and be like, if a traitor backstabs you, you get chucked out, and we'll stand together. But the opposite happened. That's why I felt so sick the whole time. It's just like, oh my god, what's gonna happen? And then she went on his side.
She's not angry, she's disappointed.
But then at the what is it, clock tower? Is that the clock tower thing that they go to? She was like, oh yeah, she was a weaker person, you're a stronger player. So
I think she realised that she couldn't really hold a grudge on this. This is something where, especially if it was only them two left as traitors, that there's...
I mean, how awkward would it have been if Wilfred threw Alyssa under the bus, but then someone else got voted off, and like all three of them had to go back up there? That would have been so
I'd like
awkward.
to have seen that conversation.
It's quite a risk that he did, because if no one else voted for Alyssa and somewhat a faithful went, and then all three of them had to go back up there, it'd be really impossible for them to sort of plan as a team.
The other funny thing is that at the round table, like when Wilfred first started throwing accusations to Alyssa whispered under her breath to the people around her, like, he's deflecting it. And I would have thought, again, I would have seen that as a kind of like,
I think she said that to Maddie, didn't she?
I would have seen that as a sign, like, you know what I mean? It's like that. Does that make him a traitor? Or am I a traitor? Oh, they're both traitors. That's why she's kind of pointing it out. And then his reaction when she gave her reasons for why she voted for him, and he said, "Oh no, that's not right. She's lying." I don't know. It just
it was really horrible how he did that, because he was really like, he was just throwing her out under for every single thing, and just it was really horrible to watch. I didn't like it. It was just...
Didn't you?
I just didn't expect the traitors to turn on each other like that. It was just like, it's such a ruthless thing to do, that is. But at the end, if there's a traitor at the end, they take the money, don't they? So
yeah,
if there's only one traitor, they get all of it.
They get the whole pot.
So like at the last round circle, the second to last, he could get rid of Amanda, and then he could be the last one and get all the money.
I don't know how it ends. I don't know how the process ends. Like, is there like one final vote where they have to work out the final traitors?
I don't know.
I'm not sure how it works in that regard. But I suppose as a trait, if you are the sole traitor, you're going to get the sole amount of money to yourself. While with the faithful, there's likely to be more than one faithful left over, and so then that pot will be split.
Yeah, split between like 3 or 4.
Because if a traitor is... Oh, no, of course, no. Sorry, I'm talking nonsense. I was going off on a tangent, which made no sense whatsoever.
I mean, we have got the possibility... We've got a 3-4 day cliffhanger now with the letter that they decided to send. Yes,
they went to choose who they were going to murder. Wilfred got very excited when he found out that... Amanda has the shield, so they literally can vote for anyone. There's no restriction of the team because they know that
she's the only one immune.
She's the only one immune. And then Claudia knocks on the door and says, you have a choice. You can either recruit or you can murder, but you can't do both. You have to choose one or the other. And if they choose to recruit, the person they choose will be given a letter, but they won't be given the identity of the other traitors, and they can choose to take it up the mantle or not. Take it up the mantle. They can choose to be a traitor or not. So if a faithful wants to, they can stay as a faithful.
I think that was such a shame because I thought it would have been so cool if the person they picked had to be a traitor. They couldn't choose. I think that would have been more fun because I said to you I would have picked Maddie.
Well, they could still. They could have still chosen Maddie.
No, because you get to choose.
It's
a bit more risky, isn't it?
They kind of went through people. They didn't go through the whole group, but they went through a few people to kind of choose who they think would.
Yeah, because at the beginning they were like, "We're not going to do this. It's too risky. No one's strong enough." And they went through each one by one, didn't they? And then they suddenly landed on Alex, and they both stopped. And they were like, "Oh, actually, she maybe."
Because she's gotten away with it. As in, everyone thought she, a bit similar to Wilfred, I suppose. Everyone thought that she was a traitor, and then she kind of got the heat off of her. So now to make her a traitor would be a kind of a double bluff, wouldn't it? So I get where they're coming from with that. I mean, for me, it would make total sense for it to be Maddie if Maddie accepted it. 100%,
but
it
they
should
didn't
be
think
Maddie.
she would because she's playing like head detective in like.
But then that would be such a good bluff as well. The only person who would
she'd have to really change her tact though, but like not obvious, because they know that someone's been recruited the next morning, so like she'd have to still point fingers at everyone. But
now would be as good a time. Would be the best time because now she's pulled back her accusations toward Wilfred.
That's true.
And in a weird way though, it would have probably been an advantage for Amanda as well because Amanda could use Maddie if Wilfred gets out of hand again. Do you know what I mean? And Maddie could then jump straight back into her accusations toward Wilfred. And this time, I don't think Wilfred will make the escape quite as easily.
No, but it's too much of a risk because they can choose not to accept the letter. So
yeah, but then that just leaves them too. So they just then carry on, I guess. I mean, it's.
I wonder what Alex, because they chose Alex to recruit, but I wonder if she'll accept or not. She might as well. I think because her boyfriend's been like voted off, Tom, she might just be like, yeah, I'll just do it then.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm thinking as well. That she's going to do that. She's going to.
Although she can't exactly get her revenge because the people who got rid of her boyfriend are the ones trying to recruit her. So maybe she'll want to know who did it.
Well, you say that's what happened, but Tom was evicted by a banishment, not by a murder.
Oh yeah. So yeah, she can get her revenge then as a traitor against the faithfuls who got rid of him.
Because I think that they know that. I think the group will find out that someone will try to tried to be recruited.
On the preview at the breakfast, they said no one's been murdered. They've recruited.
They've tried to recruit, but whether they've accepted it or not, I don't think they'll know that. So again, it's a bit of a mind muck, isn't it? It's this they're just kind of playing them off one another again to kind of like make them cause suspicion. Sorry, I think that. That breakfast table is going to be a very interesting breakfast table again. It's going to be very similar to the one this Tuesday that just came by, and just the mess that the group are going to be.
But there were quite a few that they dismissed quite quickly, didn't they? Because they did go through a few names, and they said Theo would not be able to cope.
They definitely scrapped Theo immediately. They said Wilfred said he was too weak.
Yeah, Hannah, he said she could be okay, but Amanda was like, no, she's too hot-headed. She could just snap or go at any point. And then I think the other one was Andrea, and they said that she wouldn't do it because she's too loyal. So
that's right. Yeah, they were going to recruit, weren't they? They were going to recruit Andrea rather than try to eliminate her instead. But I suppose the only others obvious ones, but maybe there'd be too obvious, would be the two guys who've just come back to the show.
Yeah, someone like Kieran. Maybe
Ramos.
not the doctor.
No, he's too close to
Maddie.
You're right there.
I think he's going to be an easy like murder target.
It's funny how he's attached himself to Maddie. He's kind of instantly made a beeline to her. While forget the other guy who's just come back. Kieran, he
said to her that he believes that Wilf is a traitor, didn't he? On like
But
the steps.
He's very quiet, isn't he? He's not kind of getting himself involved again. It's another one who's kind of just... He's playing the Ryan game, I suppose. He's kind of being very quiet to begin with, and perhaps he's going to get more vocal as time goes on.
Trouble is, if you get vocal, people suspect you. But then if you're
This is
quiet,
isn't it?
people suspect
you.
you.
You need to find that fine
If
line.
you're Meryl, people suspect you.
Poor Meryl. Meryl's neither quiet or... She just goes for it.
Oh, bless her. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Alex accepts. I think I would. It'd be more fun.
What, if you were in Alex's position or as yourself, would you?
In Alex's position, I think.
I would if I was in Alex's position.
Also, I just realised as well, it's quite interesting how they could choose to murder or recruit. And like, because one traitor's gone and like he backstabbed the traitor, they were like, let's just mess the game up then and recruit. Like, it was funny how they're not as serious all of a sudden because all of that happened. I wonder if that sort of changed them to be like, oh yeah, let's be a bit more risky and just do whatever and make the game fun.
Maybe. I think Wilfred's kind of changed the game plan they had, though, hasn't he? The game plan was always to kind of take the suspicion off themselves. Tonight, Wilfred put the suspicion square on someone, and I think that now that's happened, it's kind of like they realise that it's a dog eat dog within their own group, you know.
But I think it's also that maybe they work because they were dead on. They were like, no, let's not recruit. No one's good enough. But then they're like, oh no. Oh, I wonder if they think maybe having 3 people there to talk off ideas is much better than just the 2 of them because they're kind of just an echo chamber of just 2.
Maybe Amanda's bringing someone in to get rid of Wilfred. Maybe, well, she could. She might see Wilfred as a loose cannon, and she'll take.
Well, I would. I wouldn't trust him.
Well, she might take Alex to one side and say, "Look, you saw what happened. Wilfred was the guy who got Alyssa evicted. Now let's get Wilfred gone because I don't want.
And then just us to power through to the end.
Because I don't want someone I can't trust in the game anymore." That would be interesting.
He would deserve to go. I wouldn't be sad.
100% he deserves to go.
I wanted him to go this episode.
Mean.
I was so wanting him to go, but
why no Alyssa? I loved Alyssa from the day one when she got given the scroll to say that she was becoming a traitor, and her eyes were like lit up. She was like, "Yes, please!" Like she looked so sweet.
No, I thought she was playing a really good game, but then all of a sudden it's just all suddenly.
Well, they were playing a great game
her.
as a group, but then. You know, as I say, Wilfred took the cornerstone away and has now made the foundations much weaker within their traitorishness.
I mean, Amanda is still my winner. Like, she's still my favourite, even if she did vote for Alyssa and not back the right side of the wrong side. She's still my favourite.
I mean, Amanda's in a very strong position. She's got no one suspecting her.
I don't think one person has ever said her name, like even in a random tangent, like they haven't said her name.
And she's not afraid of Wilfred. That's my point. Like, you think that if someone's like Wilfred's done something like that, you would fear your position now within the whole group. But she's not. In fact, she's done the opposite. She's basically called Wilfred out, not in front of people.
She's made him know that she's like,
you do that and I will trample you. I will destroy you.
Because she's so trusted that she probably could just say a few things and
I think if
get
he
a few votes.
If he tried it again on the round table, then I think Amanda would immediately turn and basically she would get that herd mentality immediately because people do trust her. She's kind of like a female John, but the power hasn't gone to her head. She's kind of let it happen.
And she's
kind
just
of let it pass.
Slightly nicer the way she puts things across.
Yeah,
I think that was John's main problem for this. The way he structured his sentences and his tone was not
quite aggressive.
Not the best.
No. But,
rest in peace, John.
But he, I don't know. I don't know what went. As soon as Wilfred did that, I screamed. I absolutely screamed. I just couldn't control myself. He seems to be. He doesn't seem to have a plan, while Amanda seems to quietly, confidently just has a plan.
And him doing that without like discussing it with the traitors, he shows how much of a loose cannon he is.
Well, it's a snap decision. Yeah, absolutely. He's a loose cannon. It was a snap decision.
I think you actually made a monumental fuck up.
I agree.
That's how I felt when it happened.
I don't think he's in a very safe position. I think he thinks he's in a safe position, but I don't think he's in a safe position at all. No. But pride comes before a fall, and I think he's due that fall very soon.
But I do worry now that Maddie will just push on to Aaron more rather than pushing on Wilfred, because he keeps crying. He's very upset. He's very emotional. All he wants to do is dig.
Yeah, I know. Bless him. He just wants to get out that energy. He wants to have showers and dig.
I do feel. I don't want him to go there because he's so sweet, isn't he? It's like. But I fear.
I don't think from the moment he kind of broke down the first time the pointing went toward him, I think we knew that he wasn't long for the show. He's survived longer than I thought he was going to survive. I'll be honest with you.
I do think they need to kill Maddie, even though she's really good and she's quite entertaining to watch and she's doing the game well. I think she's the most dangerous one because she seems to really easily influence people, and she's already got the two new guys / old guys on her side instantly. So, but I think you just need to get rid of her, and then
the last round table though, she was laughed off, and she's getting...
people are still listening to her, aren't they?
People are still listening to her, but they don't vote with her.
She's always one vote short of her suspicions.
Yeah,
so that's what I mean. She's quite dangerous in that way. So I think just getting rid of her would calm things down.
But then I think now, especially now everyone thinks that Wilf isn't a traitor after tonight's hero performance as seen by the group. I think she's not. I don't think she's got that power again. She's kind of lost it. She kind of wanes it, and then it's peaks and troughs. She seems to go up and down, up and down. Maddie just needs she needs to get one right, 100%.
Well, she almost had it.
She did.
With Wilf, but it was one vote too short. But yeah,
Meryl, poor Meryl. That's her next target. That's the problem. But she's wrong. This is the thing. She's wrong.
Very wrong with Meryl.
She's so wrong with Meryl,
and it just feels so random. But yeah. I think the ones that are most at risk now is probably Aaron and still Wilfred, I guess.
I think Wilfred's still in trouble, but with
and
different
Hannah's
people.
name keeps cropping up, but not many people seem to take much to it. But I don't think people will turn on Meryl. She was voted most deserving to win originally, wasn't she? In the
funfair challenge,
the funfair thing. So. I always wonder about Theo. He seems to just fly around under the radar non-stop.
Well, he had it for the first couple of episodes. He had a few votes his way.
Yeah, but since then, he seems to just
since Imran left, it's kind
coasting.
Of gone.
Yeah. I wonder if he'll just reach the final by accident sort of thing. But it's interesting.
But he's kind of just falling his way through it though, isn't he? Like you're saying.
But yeah, a few days wait now until we find out if Alex accepts the letter and...
I don't think I can wait. I just don't think I can wait that long.
It's too long. It needs to be on a Saturday, I said. But anyway, there you go. That was our analysis of the episode, and then we'll be back again in a few days then to when we know more.
How can people get in touch? Well, I can do the Twitter.
Twitter, yes.
Yeah.
What's the Twitter?
At Traitors Podcast.
At Traitors Podcast.
At Traitors Podcast. Or you can email us.
Faithful to the traitors@gmail.com. I don't know what you'd say in an email though, but
hello.
You could recruit us.
Hello. You could recruit us. Claudia Winkleman, if you're listening.
Recruit one of us. We'll see if we'll accept or not.
We'll do that. You know, if you want to...
Yes, you can follow us on Twitter and then give us a comment, give you thoughts, and then we can read them out on the next episode, hopefully. And
if you're enjoying the podcast, which a few of you have got in touch and said you are, don't forget you can review us on your favorite podcast app you're listening to us on right now. Spotify.
Yeah, 5 stars on Spotify helps.
5 stars on Apple Podcasts. 5 stars on Acast. There's all of them. There's so many. We're everywhere. We're like a rash. We're like a traitor. We're always watching, always listening. But tell your friends, help us grow.
It's got a few days now, so spread the word, and you can binge our 4 episodes of our podcast ready for next week to refresh your memory. So there you go. That was another episode of Faithful to the Traitors.